Oh, hello. This is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I asked my wife early this morning, what would she like to have for dinner tonight? She told me that she would like to have something light, such as a vegetable medley, but with mushroom as the main ingredients. And then she would like to have the vegetable medley to go over a pan-fried noodles. I cook many different variations of vegetable dishes so that they would not become boring and monotonous. And in this video, I want to show you another way to create vegetable dishes using basically the same ingredients. I find that the most important consideration in making a good vegetable medley is advanced prepping, because then you will have all the vegetables available to you. I normally spend about 1 to 2 hours every week to prep my vegetable ahead. I open the refrigerator door and start to look for what kind of vegetable available to me for this meal. I usually have a considerable amount of portobello mushroom because this is what my wife's favorite. After looking through the refrigerators and do a little bit more prepping, I come up with these 9 different vegetables to go into today's dish. Here are the 9 ingredients that will go into this dish. We start out with carrot, onion, French green bean, portobello mushroom, a tomato, jalapeno pepper, broccoli, purple cabbage, and zucchini. It took me about 15 to 20 minutes to get everything ready before I start to cook. In cooking this dish, I'm going to use my Cuisine Art 14-inch stainless steel wok. I'm going to spot season the wok using my spot seasoning method. If you're not familiar with this method, please take a look at this video. I let the oil to smoke gently for about 15 seconds, and then I add the onion, followed by adding the jalapeno pepper to the wok. I know that my wife do not particularly care for spiciness. However, I add the jalapeno pepper early in the cooking process because in this case it will flavor the dish, but you will not taste the spiciness of the jalapeno pepper. If you want the jalapeno pepper to take on a stronger flavor, then you should add them later during the cooking process. I then stir fry the content in the wok for about 10 seconds. Next, I then add about half cup of thinly sliced carrots. I cut the carrots relatively small because that will make them cook a little bit faster. I stir fry the onion and the jalapeno pepper for about 10 to 15 seconds until the onion gets slightly soft. Next, I add about 1 cup of French green bean. I always cut the green bean to relatively small size because they also take a long time to cook. Up to this point, we have already added 4 different kinds of vegetable to the wok. To me, one of the secrets for eating more vegetables is to have diversity in the dish. So you can eat some of the vegetable that you enjoy, but at the same time, you also will eat some of the vegetable you might not like as much. I stir fry the green bean for about 10 to 15 seconds to make sure that it's well coated with oil. The secret of stir fry is the hot oil that covers the surface of the food ingredients because that is how flavor molecules are generated. I next then add about 3/4 cup of purple cabbage. The purple cabbage is to provide both nutritional value as well as to enhance the color of the dish. I always choose purple cabbage for this reason over green cabbage. It doesn't take very long. I stir fry the purple cabbage for about 20 seconds before I add the next ingredient, which is the zucchini. I then add about 1 cup of zucchini. Now, my wife is not particularly keen on it, but I like zucchini. I really enjoy broccoli, so the next vegetable I'm going to add is broccoli. As you can tell, the wok is getting full. This is why a 14-inch wok is the perfect wok to have. I continue to stir fry the content. I try to mix all the ingredients, make sure they are all well coated with oil. The last ingredient I'm going to add is the portobello mushroom. I cut them up into small chunks so that they can blend together better with the other ingredients. Portobello mushroom tend to absorb a lot of oil. If they look dry, you should use your squeeze bottle, add more oil directly over the surface of the portobello mushroom. Now at this point, you can either serve the dish as it is if you like it to be crispy. However, if you like it to be more tender, the next step is to steam the vegetables. I'm going to show you a method which I call spot cleaning, which allow you to clean the wok as you steam the vegetables. It is because when you cook in a wok with a natural surface, even you have it well seasoned, things can still stuck and burn to the surface of the wok. As you can see here, I clear the food ingredients from the middle of the wok. You can see some of the food particles burn and stuck to the bottom of the wok. I'm going to use a water squeeze bottle so that I can direct the water exactly at the spot where the stuff that are burned to the surface of the wok. The water, once it gets hot and starts boiling, it clears those burnt particles almost immediately. You will find this method extremely helpful for you to clean up the wok as you cook. Please take a look at this video to learn more about this effective cleaning method. Together, I steam the contents for about 1 minute. I make sure there are always some water at the bottom of the wok. By this time, I know the texture of the ingredient is pretty much of how I like it. However, if you want to be sure, you should do a quick taste test. If you like to have a more tender texture, then you can steam the content a little bit longer. I add the tomato toward the end because they cook very rapidly. I stir the tomato for about 30 seconds. Now, if you want the tomato to cook more, you can stir them longer. In my case, I just want the tomato to provide flavor to the dish, so I'm not too worried about the intactness of the tomato. I next do a taste test to give me a baseline of what the flavor will be. This will help me to make the adjustment of what the final flavor of the dish is going to be. I'm going to flavor the dish in multiple steps. I'm first going to add some one of my seasoning mix, which I call it basic seasoning mix. This seasoning mix is designed to enhance the natural flavor of the ingredients. If you would like to learn more about the components that are included in this seasoning mix, you can take a look at this video. Of course, you can season this dish in whatever way you prefer. You can just simply with salt and pepper. I then do another taste test, and I decided that I'm going to modify the dish with some additional sauces. So I decided I'm going to first start out with some oyster sauce and follow by using some hoisin sauce. The oyster sauce will make the dish more savory as well as more salty, whereas the hoisin sauce will provide some sweetness to the dish. I did another taste test and it tastes good to me. So the next step, which is the final step of this cooking process, is for me to make a gravy-like sauce. I'm going to use the cornstarch for this purpose. I'm going to make up a cornstarch suspension with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch to 2 tablespoons of water, and I put them in a jar so I can shake it up well before I add them to the wok. After I mixing the cornstarch suspension with the contents in the wok, the thickness is just about how I like it. Okay, now that this dish is done, total cook time is a little bit over 6 minutes. You can serve this dish over many types of carbohydrate, such as rice or spaghetti noodle, but I'm going to serve it over a pan-fried noodle and rice cake. The gravy of this dish will coat the noodles very well and make it really delicious. Lastly, I'm going to top the dish with a little bit of shrimp that I stir-fried earlier. This turned out to be a fairly large dish. However, there's a lot of vegetables in it. In fact, my wife and I finished the whole dish. We feel pretty full at the end. However, the total number of calories that we consume is actually quite low because of the high amount of vegetables. I calculated each one of us probably consume about 400 to 500 calories. So in this video, I have shown you another way to cook a vegetable medley, in this case with a gravy that can go over noodles. So you can see that using this template-based method, you can cook different versions. Thank you for watching. If you find this video useful, please click the like button below because this will help me to reach a broader audience. If you'd like to receive notification of my future video postings, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next time.